Welcome back to the Benchwarmers podcast. My name is Adam Den, 8th Lividitis, and Michael Cormelos are here with me. We're going to knock it out. You've seen the AFC. You've seen our predictions. We are back for the National Football Conference and really excited to dive into the second half and give our real big predictions for, of course, the big game at the very end. How are we feeling tonight, boys?
We're feeling great.
Magical.
Yeah, this is a much more open conference than the AFC, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of opportunity here for, a lack of parity. The defending champs are still here, though, and I'm sure we're going to dive into a lot of them, and that's probably the place we're going to start. So I'll just remind you on how this works. We are all going to go through. We are going to predict records for all four teams in each division, obviously starting with the NFC East, and then we are going to follow up by going team by team with our breakdowns. So 8th Lividitis is all the way to my left. I will let him start, then Michael, and then I will go.
All right. Eagles 12-5, Commanders 9-8, Cowboys 7-10, Giants 5-12.
Okay.
Eagles 13-4, Commanders 12-5, Cowboys 7-10, Giants 3-14.
Okay. Eagles.
Wait, hold on.
12-5.
No, I'm reading the wrong thing.
Oh.
Yeah, hold on. I read the wrong one.
I was gonna say, geez, 12-5.
I was gonna say there's no way I had the Commanders winning 12 games. All right, sorry. Eagles 13-4, Commanders 7-10, Cowboys 7-10,
Whoa,
Giants 4-13.
Okay. It's like okay. We'll get
right.
there.
All right. We make it interesting here on the Broad Street Benchwarmers. We've got Philadelphia Eagles at 12-5, Washington Commanders at 9-8, Dallas Cowboys at 6-11, New York Giants at 4-13. All right. Easy place to start. The city of brotherly love, the city of champions, Philadelphia Eagles. And a lot of change this offseason, but how are we feeling about the defending champs going into Thursday night football to open the season off?
My expectations are that they'll be as good as they are last year, and the only real question mark is Kevin Patullo, because he was just like a sort of sidekick to Nick Sirianni for the past couple of years. It's not really like, I think it'll go fine just because we have the best roster in the sport, but. And I did love what they did in free agency and Azeez Ojulari, Josh Uche. Like, those are two really nice depth picks, even though I really hope that Jalen Hunt breaks out. And a very quality draft as usual. I mean, Clemson legend Andrew Makuba, guys. He's gonna start.
Good player.
And John Campbell's gonna be great. The rest I could take or leave, but that's sort of the nature of it when you're picking at the end of every round. And yeah, I mean, they definitely had a lot of big losses. You lose Josh Sweat, Darius Slay, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Melton Williams. Eagles legend Bryce Huff is not on the team anymore. Eagles legend Kenny Pickett's not on the team anymore. But, like, it's a hard schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It said fourth in strength schedule when I devised all this, but we're the best constructed team in football. Like, that's what I said. And I don't see those losses really sort of bringing them down to like a 2023 sort of situation. Like, they're still firmly one of the best teams in football, and I don't see that really changing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, to me, roster-wise, I understand the perspective where you would be worried. I myself have had a ton of questions at the cornerback 2 position. I think, it's it's one thing to say on paper, based on previous performance, maybe you could hypothetically have some faith in Keely Ringo based on the athletic abilities that he showed in 2023. Maybe Adoree Jackson showed you enough in flashes last year before he inevitably kind of got phased out of that New York Giants defense that makes you believe that he could be a good enough contributor next to Quinyon Mitchell, but I'm still going to continue to have my questions. It's going to be Mitchell and DeJean following, top receivers. They're talking about DeJean even playing safety now because of the lack of depth there and Fangio exploiting him out here. You lose that many snaps, and I know that it was necessary because you have the Jalen Carter extension coming up. You have the Nolan Smith extension coming up, all these young players. But this is the cheapest defense in football, and I think there are holes in it that do look like it. The glue that holds it together is Vic Fangio. I still think he's the best defensive play caller in the NFL, and that's the reason why I have faith in this unit, despite the variability that defense brings, not to completely fall off a cliff due to that. But that is something that I will say scares me a little bit. On the flip side, offensively, I think this is going to be a significantly better offense than it was in 2024, to be honest, because I think people forget that this offense was not exactly prolific throughout the entire season. They finished 14th in DVOA. The offense that was dominant and supposedly won the Super Bowl, and I know you're out there, DVOA.
No, I was looking at Michael.
Okay. But there is a ton of room, even if you're not considering the statistics, for this passing game to grow in 2025, especially throughout the regular season. They were a heavy run team that was often stagnant at times in that area. They mostly operated outside the numbers, and I pointed to all season that Cincinnati Bengals game. And I said, hey, his ability to attack these linebackers, Jalen Hurts, his ability to throw over the middle of the field and really create explosive plays for this offense, especially on like crossing and mesh routes with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, who are great at that and thrive at that, that could really open this offense up. And I think if you talk to Kevin Patullo, that's something that's become a priority as well. So I look for this offense to continue to evolve and take steps. This year, you have the consistency that Kellen Moore brought you. It's not like Brian Johnson before, where you're totally tearing everything down and then, this is whatever Brian Johnson wants. Kevin Patullo was in this building with a serious voice in what this offense did. So I expect this to be a better offense in 2025. And to be honest, I think that's what's going to lead the way in comparison to maybe where you could have argued it was the other way around last year. So I'm incredibly excited.
Mm-hmm. All right. Should we go to Washington now? Yes. That's what I thought Michael was going to do. Like they made the Super Bowl last year. They're the best team in the league. Like, we know this. Okay.
Yep. All right.
You seem pretty anti-Commanders, Michael.
Yeah. Talk to us.
We'll give
it was fun. It was fun last year. Maybe not for you guys. It probably was not fun at all for you guys.
No, not really. Yeah.
It was fun for me as a fan of a team in the AFC South. I think there were some games they got lucky. I don't really know how many times you're going to win on a Hail Mary again, and the other team's starting quarterback is going to get hurt and then come back down 21-0. And the schedule just gets significantly harder for a team that didn't get significantly better, in my opinion. Biased, but there was a good ad. Laremy Tunsil was really good. He's going to give you a lot of penalties, but he's going to protect Jay Daniels' blind side really well. But outside of that, your big offensive ad being Deebo Samuel in the big 2025 is a little scary. It's a low risk, high reward, but because he's your wide receiver too. But there's still a good chance he just plays 12 games, gives you 500 yards and 200 yards rushing. He looks fun. The idea of him wearing number 1 is fun. And then I don't love the defense. It's a lot of guys who are older that just got older.
Yeah.
And you brought in Von Miller, who I don't really know what he is in the Big 25.
2020, another Big 25 sort of guy. Yeah. They gave a ton of money to Javon Kinlaw. For what reason? I don't know. But he's on the team. I don't know.
Yeah. The secondary outside of Marshawn Lattimore is really bad, I think.
I like Mikey Saran, so I'm not going to go there.
Respect Quan Martin.
I mean, okay, the secondary, the 5 secondary players, 3 of them are terrible.
I like Trey Amos in draft.
Yeah, I did too. But again,
I mean, yeah, I don't love relying
there
on.
is variability.
I don't love relying on a rookie.
Yeah. No,
So
no.
I'm just low on them. I think there were a lot of games on their schedule where I just did a coin flip, and they lost.
Yeah.
They go 7-10, give or take 2 games either way.
Yeah, I understand. I think
That's it.
from my perspective, and I get what you're saying defensively, but I think I'll ask you this. With where the run game was in 2024 with kind of the inefficiency of Brian Johnson, I mean, when you add a guy like Deebo Samuel, add a guy like Laramie Tunsil, I mean, can we expect the run game to be better in 2025, especially with year 2 Jaden Daniels kind of unleashed in that way? I mean, I think there's a fair argument there too as well. And look, I have them regressing. I have them winning 9 games. I don't have this team in the playoffs, Ethan. I assume you don't either.
I haven't met. They're the 7.
They're the 7. Okay.
I don't have a winning game.
Yeah. So I think there's room for regression. I think there might be a floor with Jaden Daniels, and I'm willing to go there yet. I'm willing to go there already in year 2. So
yeah.
For me, it's just I can't actually rely on the run game getting better when you're relying on 33-year-old Austin Eckler at a 5th-round pick.
Well, our boy Bill.
That's
Bill.
Could be wrong.
Respect Bill. Yeah.
Bill. You're not locked in on Bill?
Hey, no, I respect him. I think he'll be fun, but I think trading Brian Robinson is a huge mistake.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, like we were talking about with the secondary, I think it would be better. But I mean, this pass rush and this run defense, I don't think have been emphasized enough. I like what they have on the interior of the defensive line, but I mean, you're going to be able to run outside for days on this team, just like you were able to a season ago, especially with that edge group. So, and then the linebacker core, Bobby Wagner's 35 years old, guys. And I think there was a big fuss made around him being okay last year, but I thought he was one of the most overrated players in the NFL last year. What he was able to do cerebrally is fine, but I mean, physically, he just did not hold up in the same way you would think of Seahawks linebacker Bobby Wagner holding up. So I think the cliff is coming.
Or even Rams linebacker.
Yeah.
Rams linebacker Bobby Wagner, the legend. But yeah, I don't love this defense, and especially from a Dan Quinn perspective. I mean, I think being able to go and get out a Micah Parsons this offseason or a Myles Garrett this offseason would have been huge to just allowing him to play his style of defense and really have just a true game wrecker from the edge position, which he's almost always had. You think even back to those Falcons teams. I mean, they always had Vic Beasley was the guy. Yeah. So I think, when you're playing that set style of defense and you can't get after the quarterback, you can't stop the outside run, it's going to become an issue. So I have my concerns. Again, Jaden Daniels floor right there. But I mean, there's definitely a risk there.
Yeah. I can totally see them missing the playoffs, but I'm not going to take a ton of stock in what they did last year, but I feel like it should be considered a little bit because I don't think they're going to fall from what they were 12 games last year to bottoming out because most of the infrastructure is still there. And I mean, I do agree with the Jaden thing. It does feel like this was their shot in a way. It's sort of like how the Bengals made the Super Bowl 4 years ago. It's that's great that they got there, but I don't really know if it's going to happen again. But I didn't love their offseason either. I mean, Larry Tunsil obviously a great add for what they need to do, and they got Josh Carnley on the other side. And the Deebo thing was weird. Von Miller feels like they're trying to replicate what they did with Bobby Wagner and just getting shiny thing that's going to be in kitten one day and just hope for the best. But yeah, that defensive line doesn't really inspire me a lot. I love Johnny Newton out of the draft last year, but I don't think
he was good. I'm on the Johnny Newton train.
Yeah,
I-
I would love for that to be the case, so I can have a correct opinion. But I don't know, and I think Tommy Brown leaving sort of makes their receiver room pretty funky. Like
Yeah.
we might have to get
Luke
Luke
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey snaps.
Yeah.
Rice legend Luke McCaffrey, and yeah, I think there's definitely a ceiling. I think the ceiling is like borderline playoff team, and that's where I am.
Yeah. I think the other thing for me too is, and when I was doing this, I was just having a conversation with myself. Like a lot of these other teams that we're going to talk about, there's so many questions across the NFC, but I know what Jaden Daniels is. You know what I mean? Like I've seen it. So that's what really is haunting me, I would say, in keeping them out of the playoffs, is that I think some of these other teams that I snuck in are risks. But I think the reward and the ceiling is higher overall. So we'll find out.
Let's go to the Village Idiots in Dallas. We know what happened. We did a podcast about it.
Go
I
check
will
it out.
say I clowned their draft. I actually think it was pretty good. And Adam did mention before we recorded this, they are consistently good drafters. If you switch them around, I think it was good. Like you got Azaraku as a starter. You don't think he would be the pencil in micro replacement, but that's what it has to be. And Tyler Booker replace Zach Martin again. That's like oh god. And then you got Revel in the third round. Could have been a first round guy, but it's for the ACL. And Jaden Blue will probably be RB1 by the end of the year. Like the issue is everything else, including and it didn't happen. It obviously happened after the Micah trade, extending Deron Bland for $92 million and trading for George Pickens when you're in a contract year. So who knows if he'll even be on the team by this time next year. And a flurry of just washed free agency ads. Dante Fowler, Kenneth Murray. Well, our favorite former first round pick thing.
Yes.
We got Kenneth Murray on the team. We got Kyrie Irving on the team. Devontae Williams is right outside of the first round. Same thing with Miles Sanders. Like, it's they brought back Lab Collins, guys. Oh my god, because Terrence Steele is unplayable. But yeah, I didn't like any of their hires, to be honest. With Schottenheimer or Eberflus, their OC was the Cardinals' offensive line coach last year.
I like him a lot, though. I'm not going to disagree.
I am interested. That seems like one of those things where, like, how we hired the Colts OC from the Phillip Rivers year. We're like, what are we doing? And then we went to Super Bowl. But yeah, I don't like Eberflus. I don't like Schottenheimer though. That's definitely still a thing.
Yep.
I think having Dak for full season will definitely elevate the team a little bit from being like absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But I still do think they'll be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like 7 is like right where I see them because they will probably refuse to like outright tank just because Jerry does not have the he would not dare tank for Drew Aller in the Big 2025.
No.
Which he would take Drew Aller in the draft next year.
Yeah.
But he would much rather
because Dak is his golden boy.
Yes. He would much rather be a like just in the sort of in the middle of the NFC just existing than being like the biggest joke, which they are right now, and they should be. But yes, like I had him at 8 and 9, I put him down to 7 and 10.
Yeah.
After the Micah trade. I understand why people say 5 and 12, but really my methodology with this is teams that look terrible on paper usually win a game or two more than you think. Like,
yeah,
when you look at the Browns, like this team might not win a game, but they will probably win like 3 games.
Yeah,
I think that's what I said.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, I'm in agreement. I went a little lower, and I think, in retrospect, it might be a little bit of an overreaction, but I mean, I'm going to try not to just gloss over everything. All my thoughts on all of this, you can go listen to 30 minutes of us yelling at Jerry Jones if you really want that. But this defense is horrible. I think
he was keeping it together from like collapsing.
Yeah.
And then that's where we're at. We're at the collapse point.
Yeah, it's a bottom 2 unit in the NFL, and it might not be 2, and so I just I think there's a lot of potential offensively. You were just referencing Clayton Adams, and I loved what he did in Arizona. Their run game was one of the most diverse in the NFL. Ran all kinds of concepts and really, saved them with how horrendous their passing game was at times a season ago. We'll dive all into that. But with not a very talented offensive line either. Yeah. So I have a lot of faith in him just to be able to diversify a Cowboys run game, which was so boring and so simplistic a year ago. And I think there's a lot of that to be found around the entirety of the Cowboys offense. Again, we talked about it on the Micah pod. You add a guy in George Pickens who's just another guy who can create space in an offense that hasn't had anybody who can do that. Besides CeeDee Lamb for years now. So I think they're going to be a better offense. I think they could even be a top 10 offense in the NFL going into 2025. Yeah. But I'm just not sure how much it matters if you're giving up 30 points a game. And that's where I landed. Yeah. What is a hard schedule? This is not an easy schedule.
Yeah, it's number 5.
Yeah. They play the entire AFC West. They play all the other teams in this division, at least 2 of which I think are going to be, stellar. I think the Giants are even a bad matchup for them. And so, we're going to find out what this team is made of, but it could definitely be a joke easily.
Yep.
My turn.
Your turn.
I'm a little higher on defense than you guys are.
I don't think it's bottom 2, but I think it's definitely bottom 10. I think it'll be bad. I don't have a number on it. Just it wasn't good last year either. So
they were bottom 5 last year, and I don't see where the secondary gets better.
Yeah.
Well, I think the secondary gets better in the sense that you finally get a full season of Trayvon Diggs and Deron playing on the same field.
He's not playing. Diggs isn't playing to start.
He's out for the year.
He's not playing to start the season at the very least. He's going to start on the PUP list. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
That.
All right.
Well, that kind of puts the damper in a little.
Yeah.
But, I'm a little higher on the defense than you guys are. It's bottom 10. It's not bottom 5, I don't think. The offense is going to carry this team.
Never mind. He practiced
Dak might throw for 5,000 yards.
He practiced.
So
he did?
It's a wash.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Then I'm a little higher on the defense, even higher than I was 10 seconds ago. Then, but I've talked myself into the offense. Dak might throw for 5,000 yards. I just said CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are going to eat, and I like Jalen Tolbert as your 3, kind of like a slot guy when you need him to be. A little higher on the running back room than everybody else. I think when it just comes down to it, Jaden Blue is going to be the 1,000-yard rusher, and Javonte Williams is going to be your third down, 3rd and 1 situation, and Miles Sanders can kind of just do anything you need him to do in the sense that you need him to go be a 3rd down back, fine. You need him to just go be the second running back on the passing scheme, fine, whatever. And I don't hate the line. They just exist. They're there. They're average.
Yeah.
Tyler Booker is a boom or bust thing, I think. But I don't hate Tyler Gain or Tyler Smith. Terrence Steele's fine. Cooper Beebe, I don't know who that is, if I'm being honest.
He's a dog.
He's good.
I've never heard that.
He's good.
Is he a dog? Okay.
He's good.
Yes.
So I said 7 wins, but
I think
they could win 3, and I wouldn't be surprised. But they could also win 10, and I wouldn't be surprised. This was kind of just the average of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for them is really do they have enough firepower offensively to make this a Bengals-esque situation in a weak NFC? And
I think so. I hate the people that disrespect Dak Prescott. He's been, since the minute he walked in the league, he has been anywhere from top 15 to top 5, and depending on the seasons. There are seasons where he's been a top 5 quarterback. It's true. There have been
He's
seasons
top-
where he's been top 5.
Yeah.
He's a top 10
Yeah.
quarterback in the NFL consistently. He was, just behind Lamar for MVP a few years ago. Like, I know the season ended everybody just talks about the Packers game, but he was amazing that year. And
Yeah.
I love the receivers. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are both going to have at least 1,200 yards if this running game. I said I'm high on Jaden Blue. Like, I think this offense is good enough to propel them if this could be a Bengals situation. But I also don't think this defense is as bad as the Bengals were last year.
Yeah.
Amen.
We'll see. We'll see.
Why
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right.
Can we go to the
All right.
actual joke of the division now?
We'll go to the reverse. Bottom 5
Yeah.
offense. Great defense.
Yeah.
Really good defense.
Yeah.
Can I go first for this one?
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
This offense is absolutely god awful. This is terrible. This is awful. This O-line is like one of the worst O-lines I've ever looked at.
Oh, it's fine.
Theo Johnson starting at tight end, followed by
Leave the
Daniel
O-line alone.
Bellinger. I see Gunnar Olszewski on this depth chart, and I also see Clemson legend Bo Collins on this depth chart. Like
No.
actual people. I see Eric Gray. I see Tyrone Tracy as a starting running back.
Yeah.
I see Russell
yeah.
Wilson starting at quarterback, followed by Jackson Dart and James. Actually, I think the quarterback room might be the thing I like the most about this offense.
Which is really.
I mean,
sad.
Jackson Dart will be starting by week 3. Jackson Dart will be starting by
Yeah,
week 3, and he'll be fine,
thanks.
even though Shedeur Sanders should be on this team. But I like the defense. The defense is fun. I mean, like they'll all get injured to hell because this is the
Kinda
Giants,
great,
and they
yeah.
probably won't end up being any good. But like.
Yeah.
The secondary's fine. It's more or less I just love the D-line and the linebacker play. The secondary will be cool. Javon Holland's fun.
Yeah.
Deontay Banks is young. Paulson Adebo was fine with anywhere from fine to good with the Saints. I like Kayvon Thibodeau more than most do. And then adding Bobby Okereke is fun. Brian Burns obviously has been there. Dexter Lawrence, one of the best, his year in, year out, one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. They got that Abdul Carter guy. So, I mean, this is going to be fun enough, but, like, they're still going to win 3 games.
I don't think again. I'm going back to my team stuff as much as usual, but yeah, I have nothing good to say about the offense, really, like at all. Like Russell Wilson is a steady hand. He is a below average starter at this point. To be honest, I am not thrilled with the Jackson Dart pick at all. Because his offense was, I mean, it is a Justin Herbert situation, to be honest. Like his collegiate offense was so weird and doesn't translate to the NFL in the same way that.
But he showed traits. We're not going to do this again. But he showed good traits unlike any other quarterback who's come through that.
Like if it works out, awesome. Actually, not awesome for me, but like,
yeah,
he hasn't shown anything for me to warrant being a first-round quarterback by any means, especially when you have already committed 2 years to Jameis Winston and you sign Russell Wilson. Like it's sort of like they would have been just fine waiting another year.
Yeah.
But what do I know? Especially when the quarterback class is a lot better. But yeah, the defense is awesome. I think adding Javon Holland and Paulson Adebo.
We just watched this weekend. Is the quarterback class much better?
We'll see.
Nas bus, baby. Nas bus.
Well,
No. Just wait till he throws 4 interceptions against Kool-Aid, and we're all
I've
like,
started the dilemma or the agenda.
right.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as Michael said, D-line's awesome. I think, like, if Kayvon Thibodeau is out of their long-term plans, I think it's fine because you still have Brian Burns committed for, 3 more years?
Mm-hmm.
At least 5 to Abdul Carter, and you have probably the best defensive tackle maybe in the league right now.
Yeah.
It's Sexy Dexy, so.
Yeah.
It's a shame because
Sexy Dexy, baby.
they also gave Darius Slayton like a 3-year extension, and he is so average.
30 years old. Yeah.
And let's see. I mean, running back room. I don't care. It's Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scadabo, and is Singletary still there? Right?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, receiving core out of Malik Neighbors gives me nothing to be excited about. Outside of Andrew Thomas, I could take or leave the rest of the line, to be honest. But yeah, that's what 5-12 equates to. So
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
they
And
have the hardest schedules in the league.
They do. Yeah. I'm right in the middle. I think it's more a result of the schedule than the actual roster, because I think among the NFL's worst, and the tier that they're in, talking about like the Browns, the Saints, maybe even the Jets. Like, I think not the Jets. I think the Jets are better.
The Jets are
The Jets are better, but I think they have the most upside out of those, between them and those other two teams. I mean, you have an explosive player like Neighbors, and I think this offensive line, could be below average if Andrew Thomas stays healthy. I think that has been the biggest thing and the biggest question in the past. Is he going to be able to do that? Protect Russell Wilson's blind side. Defensively, you covered it. But I do have questions about the secondary, and I do think that is the thing that could hold them back.
Yeah.
Debo has had his ups and downs in the past, and Deontay Banks has reportedly been like god awful in camp. So, I mean, if he continues that way, that would be the worry, because he was pretty bad at points last year over the course of the regular season as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that would be my concern, but it doesn't really matter all that much if you can get the quarterback in 5 seconds or less. So, we're going to find out a lot about them in these first couple of weeks. They have a, like you said, brutal schedule, and especially to open, they go Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs, Chargers to start. So if these defense is going to be good, we're going to know exactly. And they follow that up with Saints, but then Eagles, Broncos, Eagles again, Niners. So like, yeah. So we're going to find out a lot about them, but I think, they will look more competent than they did a season ago. Is that enough for Brian Dable and general manager
Mike Kafka?
Is that
Shane?
Is that enough for Brian Dable and Joe Shane to save their jobs? I'm not entirely convinced of it, but we'll find out.
Yeah. So that's
but Dable gets another NFL job in 2 years anyway, in my opinion.
I
think Dable's shown that he's a very competent. I think Dable's shown he's a competent enough coach.
This is my conversation, because I'm not sure that he has. Yeah. I really love what he did the one Daniel Jones season, but even that was like still. I mean, they were a top half of the NFL offense. This wasn't some kind of like breaking ground thing.
I just think he's been dealt. I just think he's been dealt a terrible hand. It's very similar to how I think the Robert Saleh situation in New York where the Jets played out. Coach got dealt 4 years in a row of terrible roster and was forced to make something of it. Will get fired this year, go be the offensive coordinator for the Lions, and then get hired again immediately. And go be good somewhere at a competent organization.
My argument would be, how much did that coach and same with Saleh, how much did that coach actually contribute to their, various successes? So maybe he will, but I'm not sure I can judge the competency of him even with that. So we'll see.